Hi guys, happy Wednesday. Today we have a special guest. One of my best friends, Nicole, is going to be joining us. I'm just waiting to see if she's going to get on in a little bit. Hi Katya, happy birthday. Hope you had a great time. You look beautiful in that photo on the hammock. It's good to see you on here again. Hi Kathy, how are you? And there's Nicole. Let's see. All right. Okay, so we're gonna wait for Nicole to join us. I have like all my smoothie ingredients already right here.
Good morning.
Hi, how are you?
My sous chef is ready.
Oh, there he is. Can we see him? Oh, hi, Duke. You've got to introduce him to everyone.
He just had his breakfast, so now he can be fully present.
You mean he was having some of your breakfast, maybe? All right, cool. Well, thank you so much for joining today. You're my first guest on my Instagram lives, and it's so fun to see you because obviously, like, we're so used to seeing each other all the time when I'm back in California. So it's nice that we get to do this together right now.
I am so happy to be here.
Yeah, thank you. So everyone who's watching or that you're going to be watching later, Nicole is one of my best friends. She's super well versed in nutrition and health and wellness. We met years ago in San Francisco, actually, when we both worked at Lululemon. And now we are, we just literally can talk about everything and anything all the time. And we're constantly talking about just nutrition and how to fuel the body. So just thought it would be a really interesting conversation. So Nicole, if you wanted to do any quick intro or anything.
No, I think you kind of covered it. Like you posted, movement and nutrition and wellness have always been huge, important aspects of my life. And I was grateful to be able to attend the Institute for Integrative Nutrition about 9 years ago now. And that information just really helped shape my philosophy and my approach around eating, and just kind of helped me to give the guidelines so that my body can feel its best.
Awesome. So a lot of the stuff that you've learned from it, you have always incorporated into your lifestyle, or?
I think there are elements that I wasn't aware of. 9 years ago, I probably wasn't adding greens to my smoothies. And, at that time, milk alternatives weren't as readily accessible or available. And of course, my palate has changed, I think, which is a big thing. I naturally have a really sweet tooth, as you know. But I think changing that around, sugars and things now, I find things to be almost like too sweet. So my palate has changed a lot. But, I think really a lot of what IAN helped me to do was kind of become more in tune to my body and what my body needs. And not every day is the same. So I might wake up, hungrier than usual, or I might be craving something more. And so I think really listening to my body and realizing what it is that I need. Am I thirsty? Am I craving something warm or cold or creamy? So it's helped me to really tap into my own intuition and listen to what my body needs. And sometimes that's, not the healthiest choices. And I think that's okay, giving space to do that, because my approach to eating really is not about limiting yourself to anything. If you love, those quote unquote junk foods, still eat them, but try to incorporate, more of the good things as much as possible. So.
Yeah, I totally agree with you on all that. It's all about just like adding, because I think a lot of times we think that we have a lot of nutrients and we're getting all the things, but actually we're just depleted in lots of minerals and nutrients. And that causes a lot of these symptoms that come up that people don't realize.
Yeah. And I think, if you are constantly kind of masking your feelings, if you're tired and you're always grabbing for a coffee, or, a candy bar or something, it can really be a sign of a, like you mentioned, like a deficiency in something. And, I've had blood work done throughout, the years. And I think I've been really surprised at times, when I've been depleted in something and I'm like, but I eat so healthy. But sometimes, it's about how you combine things. I know you've talked a lot about vitamin D and, maybe making sure that you're eating them at the right time in the right way so that you are able to absorb the nutrients. And I think even the, people who are eating really mindfully can still have those deficiencies. So,
mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. Because I did the integrative health program as well, but I did it through Dr. Stephen Cabral. So I did that 2 years ago. So very similar to your program. But a lot of it is, a lot of my focus with all of that is just like digestion. So it's, I used to always think it's like you are what you eat, right? But it's more just like you're not what you eat, you're what you absorb, you're what you digest. And that digestion is so important. So that's, which is a big reason why like smoothies are really an important part of my day, because that's the whole digestion piece. So I'm glad that's kind of like part of why I wanted to bring like the smoothie stuff into today's like stuff too.
Totally. But
yeah.
Smoothies for so many reasons that we will get into.
Yeah, no, for sure. For sure. Okay, well, before we go on, I'm just going to see, I think Katya just had a quick question. So if they're constantly craving sugar or chocolate, what might that be a deficiency of?
Well, I think if you're constantly, and jump in too, but I would almost point that is either thirst or some type of that's tapping into more of your like emotional side, I think, of eating. So, I don't have like that clinical piece, so I'm not sure exactly what it would be a deficiency of, but I think that could be more of an indication of stress, hormones, emotions, and then good old dehydration. But
yeah.
Vivian, jump in.
Yeah. No, dehydration I think is a big part of just like everything. Like I know that if I'm dehydrated, I'm just craving just everything in general, like not even just like sugar. Just like that I want like the bag of chips or something that I never like really eat or anything, even though that's going to make me more dehydrated.
Yeah.
But I do believe like a lot of it could be definitely hormones. So, and then which of course is like all the stress that you were saying, but a lot of times also, if your body is craving something, then maybe it's because it needs it. So it's not necessarily a bad thing to be having it. It's more just being mindful of the types of sugars or sweets that you're having. So like if I have a sugar craving, then sometimes I'll have a date.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, which is always good. And I do, and then obviously if you're choosing chocolates, then maybe getting more of like a dark chocolate. So it's like less of that sugar, like, or that milk added to it. And I also kind of want that sugar kick in the morning sometimes. So my smoothie is actually usually more like a chocolate smoothie. So I kind of get that. So it's kind of like that energy boost kind of in the morning with it, especially when you're trying to rehydrate and everything as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. That was a really good question.
Yeah, definitely. And anyone else, if you have any other questions, just let us know and we'll kind of try to answer them as we go along and talk about our smoothie recipes and everything as well. So, so I wanted to just kind of go into, I guess, like why I incorporate smoothies into my day. And then if you want to share yours, and then we'll go into a little bit of our recipes or just kind of different ideas of what people can put in to smoothies. So I always like to start my day. So the smoothie thing kind of just goes along with the Instagram lives that I've just been going through. So I've talked a lot about hydration and how important that is for your body. And then also yesterday I posted about the importance of getting your fruits and vegetables, and that we should be getting 7 to 9 servings of fruits and vegetables a day. And if you're only eating like 2 meals a day, it's really hard to be getting like 4 to 5 servings in each sitting. So a really good way to do that is with your smoothies. And then also I like having smoothies in the morning because your body's just waking up. So like I've said before, you're probably sleeping, ideally 8 hours a night. I'm not, but I'm working on it, always, constantly working on it. It's my downfall, everyone. It really is. I'll admit it. And then likely if you don't drink too much water before bed because you don't want to wake up in the middle of the night. So you're probably dehydrated because you haven't drank any water for like 8 to 10 hours. So having a smoothie, you're kind of already automatically getting like 2 to 3 cups of water in. And then on top of that, in the morning, your body's just starting to wake up. So then I don't want to do anything that's too hard on my digestive system. So I want something that's gonna be a little bit easier to digest. And usually when you're having foods, basically if you're having too many types of foods, then you're gonna be needing different types of digestive enzymes. And it's all like, if you're eating raw food versus cooked food, it's gonna be digesting at different times as well. But if you're blending everything together, just like the food combining you mentioned earlier, it's kind of just like a level playing field with all of it. So then your body's just kind of digesting it all because it's already kind of pre-digested. So then it's easier for your body. And then on top of that, because then basically if I'm putting like maybe 15 to 20 ounces of water in my smoothie, and then once you're blending with like the fruits and vegetables as well, then that adds like another cup of water. So then I actually like to spread the smoothie out instead of like gulping it all down at once, because that can cause bloatedness. And I kind of try to spread it out throughout the hour. So I'll like drink a lot of it, kind of take some big gulps at the beginning, and then I kind of like try to space it out. Obviously it depends on the day. Sometimes I'm just like, I'm having it all now. Yeah. But ideally,
like get it down the hatch and out the door. But
yeah, but if you can bring, I mean, now everyone always has, like their bottles and stuff that we bring with us.
Totally.
Which is good. Well, I guess we're not going anywhere right now, but
but to-go cups have become like a whole chic accessory. So
totally. Yeah. Because I like to do just like the timed release of all the nutrients in your body, because your body can't really like absorb and use all of that in like 10 minutes per se. So if you putting all of that in and spreading it out throughout the hour, then you're kind of getting that timed release, but then also your body's not working so hard at once. So then you're not going to feel depleted of energy as well. Yeah. So that's kind of like the idea behind like what I do with my smoothies and stuff.
That's a great reminder, because I know sometimes I tend to kind of just eat it all at once. Especially if it tastes good, I just kind of want to sip it all down. But I think spreading it out would really help, because sometimes I know I'll feel kind of uncomfortably full, because I just kind of gulped it all down. And
yeah. Well, then it's just like so much liquid in your belly at once, right? So
yeah.
Mm-hmm. But yeah. And I know you do yours a little bit later in the day. So if you want to kind of explain that, and then we can go into ingredients.
A lot of the reasons that you already touched upon, smoothies are great. I love smoothies pretty much all day, any time of the day, but I do prefer them in the afternoon. I have also had them for dinner sometimes if I come home and I'm just not really, feeling something, but I want something that's going to fill me up and have great source of nutrition. But ideally I have them in the afternoon. I think that helps me to kind of help with that afternoon slump right around 3:30, when you want to, grab for that coffee or that chocolate bar. But I make mine a little bit sweeter, which kind of helps. And sweet, I just mean I add a little bit more fruit to kind of help. I don't really use any natural sweeteners like honey or anything, but you certainly can if the smoothie world is new to you and you want something more palatable. But I like mine in the afternoon. Kind of helps me to bridge that gap between lunch and dinner, and kind of gives me the fuel to go until dinner time. And I usually don't have too many cravings after I have one. So yeah.
That's awesome. So if you're having it in the afternoon, does it affect your appetite for dinner then, or you space it out pretty?
Yeah, I space it out. I eat dinner probably on the later side. Something to improve, I guess. But I eat dinner on the later side, so I think by the time I have my smoothie, it's about 3 to 4 hours before I have dinner. Mm-hmm. So I feel like it doesn't really impact, my appetite for dinner. But yeah, but it's a good question though, being mindful. That way you're kind of not stacking all your meals on top of each other, and then you're like, oh God, I'm so full.
Yeah, I make the mistake of doing that sometimes if I'm not super hungry in the morning and I don't have my smoothie yet, but then I'm like, wait, but I should be having lunch soon. And then, yeah, and then it's just kind of all compiles on top of each other. But it's good to have that 3.5 to 4 hour kind of buffer between, because then your body can actually digest your meal rather than just kind of constantly feeding, like snacking or anything, because then your body's constantly working to digest versus using the energy elsewhere.
Yeah, and I think sometimes too, it's okay to be hungry a little bit. I think sometimes we kind of run from that feeling. And I think it can kind of help us indicate where we need to go with our nutrition. So like you said, if we're constantly giving ourselves food, we're not giving ourselves a chance to really listen to our bodies and realize what we need. So, not too hungry, but just kind of.
Yeah, and then sometimes I think it's like sometimes I feel hungry, but it's more I'm just thirsty. So, yes. Which is kind of like a big part of this hydration and everything as well.
Yeah, it's so important as we're going to the summer months, obviously. I know you talked about it, I think last week or the week before, but you sweat a lot in your sleep. You sweat, throughout the day, and that's a very good thing. But, you really need to hydrate and replenish those nutrients and water. So
yeah, for sure. So what do you put into your smoothies then to kind of like replenish and hydrate and nourish and everything? Let's hear it. Let's see it. I know we got all our ingredients here.
I know. Okay. So I'll go first.
Yeah, go for it.
I love my base, a banana.
Okay.
I love the banana. I use it frozen or not frozen, depending on what I have on hand. Banana makes it creamy. Obviously, helps with the texture. Bananas are great for your electrolytes, your manganese, potassium, fiber. So I always like to have kind of a creamy base. People can use avocado, but I really like the banana. It's really just works well for me. I always throw in at least some green. So I'll have a spinach. Organic spinach when possible. And we posted about the Dirty Dozen and the Clean 15. Great information. And I think it's, when we have the choice and we have the accessibility, choose organic, but realize that as long as you're just getting those fruits and vegetables in, that's the most important thing. And just a quick touch on frozen versus non-frozen. I think sometimes people are afraid that frozen vegetables and fruits don't have the same nutritional value as non-refrigerated fruits and vegetables or fresh. And it's not the case. And sometimes, frozen vegetables and fruits are a really great way. Save money so that you're not going through fruit and it's not, spoiling it faster than you can eat it. And a lot of the times it does have the same nutritional value, if not higher, because it's frozen at the peak of its freshness. So don't shy away from frozen vegetables if that's all you have, especially in the winter months. I mean, we're fortunate that we're going into the summer now. So fruit is really at its prime. But, just keep in mind that at least, when we're talking about fruits and vegetables, frozen, fresh, whatever you have on hand.
Yeah. And you bring up a good point of what's in season as well, because that's when this can be most nutrient dense too, right? Yeah. Versus like trying to get a winter vegetable in the summertime when it's not.
Yeah.
When it's supposed to be. Yeah. Hi, Duke.
We have a visitor. For those that have pets that are listening in, I usually do share with him my smoothies and other snacks. Just make sure always that whatever you're eating, it's safe for them, and But especially on the hot days, he likes to have a smoothie too. It helps to cool.
They can't have chocolate though, right?
No chocolate. No grapes.
Right.
Those are like big things. I mean, there's great resources online, but always, remember dogs' tummies are a little bit more sensitive. So if you're, just be mindful.
I would imagine that getting a bit messy with a smoothie.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's okay. We just.
He gets away with it.
Yeah. Thank you. Whoever said he's so cute, thank you.
He is super cute. He's huge as well.
Yeah, he's a big boy. Yeah, summer bod didn't quite come in as much as we had hoped, but he's, big boy. Anyways, I digress. So blueberries, next. I love blueberries. Blueberries, strawberries, raspberries, mixed fruit medley. Any kind of berry is great because of the antioxidants that I think a lot of us are aware of. They add a touch of sweetness to it, which is really nice too. And then usually I'll round out with some type of fat. Flax seeds are kind of my go-to at the moment. I will either grind them up into a meal for finely, so that it's a little bit easier to digest. Sometimes I just throw them right in and have a little texture to the smoothie. But fat is good to have. For lots of reasons. With it helps with absorption of some of your fat soluble vitamins. Also helps to fill you up. Fat's a good thing, guys.
Yeah, just make sure they're the healthy fats. So that's a good one.
Yes. And that's usually it. I keep it pretty simple. Variation from that. Sometimes I'll throw in some pineapple if I want more of a tropical flavor, but usually that kind of gives me a little bit of the sugar kick that I do like, especially in the afternoon. And it doesn't help. I definitely don't have that kind of blood sugar spike and then crash, which is nice. And the only thing I'll add is I'll put water in it or a milk substitute, whatever you have. I usually just use water, filtered water, but if you want something that's more of a creamy, richer texture, then you can certainly add any of your milk substitutes. And that's it, just good to go.
Sounds delicious.
Now tell me about yours, because I have a feeling yours is a little bit different.
Yeah, mine's slightly different, but pretty similar. So I veer more on the green smoothie side, very green smoothie side, but I've been using a chocolate protein, a daily nutritional support powder. So this is my all-time favorite. And since I'm in London, I can't really get this right now. So I'm just this is my bottle that I have to have. But it's great because it's an all-in-one vitamin as well. And then it has lots of detox properties, and then it's in the mineral and protein formula. And I love it because it doesn't have all that added sweetness that sometimes a lot of other protein powders have. But because I want to make sure I get enough protein throughout the day because I'm mostly plant-based with things. So I can't always have so much hummus all the time. So I have to have a little bit of protein in the morning to get with it too.
Out of the way early.
But I also have this one just in case, for in England as well. So this is an all-natural plant-based protein as well. So this is a good one that I'm using here when I run out of the other one. So so I also use a water base because I find that when I use a nut milk or something, it's a bit too sweet for me, or just a bit too thick. And I kind of like to add the thickness with the fruits and vegetables instead. So I also always love to add spinach because it also doesn't add any flavor, but then you're going to add a lot of the nutrients. And I do some zucchini in mine. So you can also or here they call it courgette. So, but you can also freeze it. So I have a bunch right now. So then I just cut it and freeze it. And that also adds a creamy texture, kind of similar to the banana.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, so another good way to kind of add some more vegetables into your meal, your blended meal.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then since I'm using the chocolate, sometimes if I'm craving that sweetness, then I do add the banana. So then I kind of get that chocolate banana smoothie kind of thing going, which always tastes really good. And then also I do for my fat. So sometimes I will do avocado. Which I like a lot. Sometimes I'll do a coconut cream or just coconut or avocado oil as well.
Okay.
So yeah, so just kind of different ways to incorporate it, and similar to what you were saying, just to make sure that I'm gonna have enough energy to take me to lunch, and then also to absorb, of course, that vitamin D to make it more soluble and everything that we've talked about before too. So those are a lot. And then I also love to add just kind of like a dash of cinnamon on top. And I know you love cinnamon too. So
Yeah.
always kind of adds like a little like kick to it. And then I do also love my seeds. I'm more into seeds than nuts. So I use a lot of those. So I'm using a lot of chia seeds. I use flax seeds. And then also sometimes I put some pumpkin seeds.
Oh,
Or
nice.
sesame seeds. So also just like for women, like for your cycle and stuff too, if you like, a lot of times there's I try to incorporate seed cycling, so that's something that anyone's interested in I can share about like later, but using the different seeds at different times throughout the month as well. But that's going to add a lot of like omega-3s that we need, obviously, that's really important for our brain and everything as well. It's going to add that fiber that you need for the meal, just to kind of make sure everything is processing well in our body, and then also all of that, healthy fats and things as well.
I love that. And I think those are all great additions. I just wanted to touch on something about cinnamon. That cinnamon's great for regulating blood sugar. So if you, struggle with that, or, just want something to help regulate your blood sugar, cinnamon's a great add-in. Coffee, smoothies, fruit, anything. So yeah, cinnamon's great.
Yeah, it's so good to just add to, like your coffee, your tea, just like anything as well. Yeah. And then also to regulate that blood sugar also is why like the timed kind of like spreading the smoothie out throughout the hour so you don't get that spike.
Yeah.
Well.
Isn't it amazing how like these little things have such like boosting properties? Like cinnamon and these seeds and everything are not, these big fancy glamorous things. It's things that are just so accessible and around us, but they are so powerful. So.
Yeah. That's the amazing part, because it's also things that just have been around forever, right? So I think everyone's like, oh, this is like the new thing. It's like, no, this has been around. Like, it's more, people have been using it for decades, for centuries, It's a matter of just tapping into the right things. And also just knowing that just because something is a superfood and you hear some celebrity or someone using it, doesn't mean it's going to be good for you. So you also have to make sure that you, like what you said, just kind of tuning into your body and focusing on like really thinking about like what's going to work with you and what works with your palate, because you have to enjoy it. Like, don't force yourself to have something if you don't like it. But also make sure that your body likes it. So a lot of these smoothies, like if you're new to it, I definitely would recommend, and there's like a lot of talk about like food combining, but also the importance of like food layering. Okay. So if you start first with, say if you just did like a protein powder with like water and see how that feels with you. And then after that, maybe if you want, you can try like nut milk. And then after that, you can add some type of fruit, and then see how you feel first, and then so that like obviously how you feel is in like each day do a different thing, not like all at once. And, not like take a sip and then be like, hey, next one, next thing. And then I would add vegetables like last, because that's gonna be the hardest for your body to digest. So then, and if it means that it's hard for your body to digest, then maybe it's a matter of making sure that your digestive enzymes are, you have enough of them. It's like a lot of times it's if we're on any like, on Tums or Pepsin AC or anything that's gonna get rid of the acids in your stomach to digest food. But also if it's harder to digest raw food, maybe it's better for you to have cooked vegetables. And if that's the case and you still want to add greens, in the mornings, you can either do a greens powder. So I have like this green powder. I don't always put it in my smoothie just because I like the apple flavor. So I kind of just have this as just something before the smoothie, and I'll put like lemon or lime in it too to get some electrolytes.
Oh, nice. Okay.
But then there's also like other green blends that you can get. So this is a good Fushi one as well. So just different. If your body can't stomach any of the green like the green vegetables, then I would kind of look for a good green powder as well.
That's good. That's
great. Yeah. Just so then you're gonna get. So obviously we're both huge fans of smoothies, but it's so you can get your fruits, your vegetables, your hydration, like everything in one meal. And then if you have that, just if you know that you're gonna not substitute, but just like adding that into one at least once a day, then you're already having that. It kind of takes a lot of stress off of the other meals, I think.
Yeah, I agree. And I think, I can't remember if you touched on this, but smoothies, are a great way to just kind of give your digestion a break. You know, your digestive system works so hard, keeping everything moving and grooving. And I think sometimes it's really nice to just kind of give it a break. It doesn't have to work so hard. So that's something to kind of keep in mind too.
Yeah, for sure. Just it's always good to kind of have that, and then also just for your body to focus on, you know, doing the other things that you need energy for too.
Yes. So much energy for all the.
Yeah, and then yesterday I posted about yesterday I posted about like obviously the clean 15 and the dirty dozen, and just like the importance of that because of like nutrients, like nutrient levels in certain foods. So with that, like, so say I'm not able to find like organic spinach or something, then maybe I'll put like other vegetables I like to put in smoothies are also like cauliflower. That's like, that kind of adds like some creaminess, and you can cook it and then freeze it, or you can just like kind of freeze it raw or just kind of put it in as well. It kind of adds more of that texture. Okay. Beets are a really good vegetable to include as well.
Oh, nice.
And it adds that like sweetness. Or if you have like squash or like pumpkin, those are good ones that I like to incorporate too. And then I know we're going into summer, so then it's kind of like those refreshing ones are really great. And if you want to like have the frozen fruits and, you know, add ice cubes with filtered water and everything, like, but then in the winter, I don't think that, like I don't stop having smoothies in the winter, luckily, because usually I'm in California, so it's warm anyway. But a lot of times if it's too cold to have a smoothie and I'm craving something that needs a little bit more warmth, then I also would like to add like a thumb of ginger, because that kind of adds like that internal heat.
Yes.
So, and I know you love ginger too, so it's kind of like, that's a good thing to like get that thermogenesis inside your body. And then also, instead of like blending it and having it right away, maybe let it sit out for a little bit, so then it's like more room temperature if it's like a bit too cold for you. So.
Oh, that's good to know.
Yeah, because I know you like your juices room temperature too, so.
I do. And it's funny that you bring that up because sometimes I run cold, and sometimes smoothies will make me really cold. It feels almost internally cold, and so in the winter months I still have smoothies, but that's a good reminder because sometimes the last thing I want is something to make me even more cold. So
yeah, I know. I like how you're in California and you're in and I'm like in my tank when I'm in London, so you definitely run colder.
It's a touch foggy this morning.
All right.
I do run cold, so for all cold friends.
Yeah, so add that ginger to your smoothies too. Yeah. And then if you run a little bit hotter and you kind of want something more cooling, sometimes I'll add some mint. So that's a bit more of like a cooling thing. So, yeah. So and that's also good for your digestion as well as ginger. So
yes. You know, I think the real takeaway here is that with smoothies, anything goes.
Yeah.
And it's about finding what works for you, what you feel like having that day, and that's kind of the beauty of smoothies, you know?
Yeah, no, that's perfect. Yeah, it's definitely you could kind of be creative with it and have fun with it, and then also I just think like the biggest takeaways would just be like make sure you use it as an opportunity to add that hydration, those fruits and vegetables, get that protein, but also don't forget about that healthy fat. So then you kind of make it a bit more filling as well. And as you reiterated too, it's like fat is not a bad thing. So
we could do a whole thing on fat. You know?
I know, maybe we will one day. Yeah. Awesome. And then if you can send me your recipe, I would love to send it out to my newsletter, my email list.
Oh, for sure.
For your smoothies or anything, other tips. And then I will send that out to everyone. And if anyone has any questions, or if you're not on my newsletter and you want me to send it your way, then please just DM me and then I will get that over. So.
Well, great.
Yeah. Thank you so much for your time today. It was so much fun.
This is so much fun.
Yeah, I loved it. We'll have to do it again.
Okay, well, thank you and have a good day, everyone.
Thank you. Okay, thanks everyone for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed it, and I want to see all your pictures of smoothies on Instagram and everything too. So tag us.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.